What's up guys, Alex here with another N8N video. We just looked at the N8N triggers, so if you missed that video, like and subscribe and flip over to that one. You can learn all about the different types of triggers. Now we're just looking at some of the basic nodes that we're going to encounter in our workflows just to get a feel. So this is high level, don't feel overwhelmed by any of this. We're going to show you a little example workflow down here, but these are some of the basic nodes that you're going to be working with among some specialized nodes that you might want. So this is the edit set node. This one is great at the start of workflows, just before agent calls, anywhere in your workflow. If we click in here, basically it takes in some of those items. And again, we have a video on items as well. So if you don't know what an item is, check that one out, and also knowing what a JSON is. But anyway, it takes these items in and you can add stuff to them, and we'll look at that below. You can pass all the items out. You can check out some different options. And it lets you set up the packets that you need for the different calls. So these are really good for, like, in your code, clearly seeing what's going on essentially. These code nodes run off of JavaScript or Python, and basically you can put anything that you could possibly think of. Now this is actually new, this Ask AI. This wasn't here before, so the Ask AI feature allows you to ask AI and lets you create this code, this JavaScript code that will do anything to the data that you need it to do. If you want to manipulate it, I'll give you some examples here below. But this code node is really powerful just because, you know, anything that you can't do or don't have a preset node for, you just ask one of the LLMs for some code and you can drop it in this and really manipulate your data. HTTP requests, if it doesn't have a specific node inside N8N, you know, all these different sources are connected to N8N, so you just can use their connection. But if it doesn't have a connection and it has an API, you can ping it, and LLM can walk you through what you need. You can set up query parameters if you need. This can be variable, so there's expressions here. You can add different, you know, all the different variables passed in from the user, or whatever you have, to ping any kind of HTTP or API request that you need, and this will get you most of your data. The merge nodes are really good for, you're going to have lots of branches in your workflow. So your data is going to be moving all over the place, manipulating it different ways. You're changing the way it looks, and then you're merging it back together or splitting it up. You have the merge node, and then actually there's a split node as well that's not included on this list that is highly valuable. There's different merge types. So there's like the append. We do have a video on this as well, but the append, combine, SQL query, and then the choose branch. Then we have the loop over node. This one has a couple different good uses. One, it can siphon off the first item of any list. So if you run anything into this and never loop it around, it just basically takes that first item and goes on forever, and everything else is just caught up at this little, like almost like a dam catching everything else. So that's one way you can use this, or you can use this to loop through different batch sizes. So sometimes you'll have like large amounts of data going through here, maybe thousands of lines of, you know, of HTTP calls, and you want to do in batches of 50 to slow them down and make sure you don't overwhelm the API that you're hitting. Well, you can put the batch size 50 here, it'll pass them in 50 at a time, or sometimes just one at a time is really useful because you can do like just to one item, like just to one piece of data. You want to change it somehow and you want to do that to a bunch of different items. You can do them one at a time here and manipulate each one individually. Then there's the if. The if is really good for, it's basically like a filter. So something comes in, you can look at the different variables coming in and say, well, if this variable is equal to this variable, then, or this variable is equal to this number, then pass it on through. If not, then stop it or do something else to it, go in a different branch. And the switch is just like the if, only it gives you multiple different like routing rules. So you can just keep doing this, and then on the outside, you'll have one thing in, three things out, or as many as you want. The wait is really good for these HTTP calls. Sometimes they have rate limits, and you need to, like, you can only hit it with 1,500 requests every minute. So what you do is you run a 1,500 requests in, and then you run one of these wait codes, wait nodes for 60 seconds, and then run it back through. Or, you know, you could do, you know, each one for 0.3 seconds or whatever it is, just so you get that right amount of time so you're not overwhelming the API. So these are really the basic nodes that you're going to be using a lot of, and you can see there's a lot of power in sort of these workflows when you can connect stuff together and how this whole N8N works. So in the next video, let's check out this workflow down below here. We're going to go through some of these nodes and just quickly look at this output, look at what stuff looks like, what's merging, how these nodes work. So take a look and stay tuned for that video coming up.